Hey, GW, coming to you live via YouTube channel. Hey, listen, I wanted to stop and drop a line about a show that's no longer with us that HBO had canceled in 2003. It's called Oz, and it ran from 1997 to 2003, lasted 9 seasons, and it is probably one of the more grittiest prison shows you can check out. Forget jailbreak, prison break, all that. Oz has it all. And the core story of Oz is that it's nicknamed Emerald City. It's a rehab prison, and it's supposed to help you, get back on your feet. However, just the opposite happens. Along with an all-star cast that includes Emin Walker, and people who watch Chicago Fire might know he's the chief, Chief Wallace Bowden. It has Lee Turgison, who plays main character Beecher, and it has J.K. Simmons. Now, some people might not know the name J.K. Simmons. He's the one that does the Farmers Insurance commercials. He's the old guy. Believe it or not, he plays a skinhead named Schillinger. And the whole structure of the story of Oz is the battle between Schillinger and Turgison. Sorry, Schillinger and Beecher, who's played by Lee Turgison. My bad. Edie Falco, who was also on The Sopranos, is on here as the nurse. Also, the Allstate Mayhem guy, Dean Winters, is in here as prisoner Ryan O'Reilly. He is by far one of my favorite characters in this whole thing. And just like real jail, everybody conforms their own group. Mexicans go to the Mexicans, the blacks go to the blacks, Latinos go to Latinos, so on and so forth. But what's striking is this was the first real gritty prison drama, or drama by that matter, that HBO has kicked out. After this, we saw The Sopranos and then Deadwood and, of course, the ending Game of Thrones. But this is the one that kickstarted it all for HBO back in its early years. And it was written, believe it or not, by Tom Fontana and Barry Levinson. Two great, great talents. And the prison is ran by Warden Leo Glynn, who was played by Ernie Hudson. You guys know him as Winston Zeddemore off of Ghostbusters. So the all-star cast is there. Now, the stories are really gritty. This was a very violent show, and I'm not going to candy coat it for you. But the thing when you watch it is that when you watch this, there is a lot of great writing, there's great direction, and quite frankly, they do not make these like this anymore. Along with being one of the greatest prison dramas that HBO has ever, or series that HBO has ever kicked out of the nest, it also won some awards. It won the best satellite cable radio show, which was a big deal in those days. The plot points in this are so many you couldn't even begin to explain them. But basically, like I said before, the whole structure of the story is held together by the hatred between Schillinger and Beecher. That plays from the first episode all the way into the last. You see their rivalry go full circle, you see it come back, and you see a lot of other things spawn off because of that. Ryan O'Reilly gets a brother, his real life brother, and the stories kind of spiral pretty much in a pretty cool way after that. I will say that the last episode, and I'm not going to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but by the way, this is streaming live on Amazon Prime. If you have Prime Video, you guys can check out the entire series. What was I going to say? The last episode, either you loved it or you hated it, or you were just like, eh. There was no middle ground. You either loved it or hated it. I thought the writing toward the latter end of the episode was just like, we got to do something, let's just do it. But like I said, there's so much star power in this. And it's an amazing show. It really is. My wife actually watched from season 4 on. And believe it or not, Luke Perry also has a cameo in one of these. And rest in peace, Luke Perry. He plays a preacher. And everyone in Oz has a backstory. It's told to you by I can't think of his name, but it's a cat in a wheelchair, and he's always telling you about new inmates coming in. Also, Emin Walker's character, I want to talk a little bit about him. He's probably one of the more interesting characters in this. There's a ton of them here, guys. I don't even have time to explain there. But you need to give Oz a try. And it's just sad to see that this is no longer being remade or renewed or anything like that. Now, I know I've been just doing horror movies, and I did the 5 most controversial that I've seen. But I wanted to change the page, and I wanted to tell you that I'm not all about horror, and I'm also about drama. And this, like I said, this is a fantastic show. So much so that the Oz fan page is still going live and kicking today. You guys can check that out. I should know I have a Christmas card printed out with Ryan O'Reilly on it. Regardless, the Oswald State Penitentiary is a place you want to spend at least 9 years on and check out a very cool show. And like I said, this whole series is streaming live on Amazon Prime. Well, not live, but you can catch it on demand. Definitely give it a whirl, and you tell me it's not one of the best shows you guys have ever seen. It's GW, and that's my thoughts on Oz.